What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we're back to live streaming with my face. My beautiful face. And man, oh man, didn't I just capture the right spot? Look at this beautiful specimen. Look at this panty dropper. Oh my god, ladies. Aren't your undies skin a little wet down there? And for the record, I know why his things like this is because he's recording it off his phone, and I know he's recording off his phone and probably close to his TV and all, not close to his TV, to his kitchen, because you can see the TV in the background there. So, with all that said, let's get into this video. Well, before that, of course, you guys could probably see it, a little bit of a promotion for a buddy of mine, Likesomerice. Make sure to check him out. I'll post a link in the description of this video. I will also post a link to his merch store, which I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of tempted to buy a coffee mug or two, because, you know me, gotta have my coffee. Well, today we don't have coffee, we have Mountain Dew Voltage. Not sponsored, just a fan.
Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, Lore and Frey, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon.
And I'm That PlayStation Gamer, author of The Last of Us is Better Than Zelda, and Mario's Overrated, and he's a terrible plumber. I kind of make a joke.
So Arlo recently released a video declaring the Switch was in its twilight years, and I didn't watch it. I didn't bother watching it.
Why? Yeah, why would you ever bother watch a video that you're making a video about? It's like you're assuming stuff just off the title.
Because we all know what this is about, right? The Switch is old, it's tired, it's archaic, the technology is outdated.
Yeah, the Switch was even outdated by the time it came out. It was like a little bit better than some of the things were coming out, but not by much. And if you actually look at the PS5, Xbox consoles, they're destroying the Switch. The Switch is not even in the same fucking category. The Switch might as well be a fucking toaster oven compared to those things. Those are like fucking air fryers and a microwave, and that's a little toaster that just gets a little hot.
Console can't compete with the new pieces of hardware that are on the market. It's typical pretendo.
Because it can't. Quite literally. The reason why a lot of developers are scaling down their games or putting their games on the cloud is because the Switch is literally incapable of handling the freaking the demands the game needs to make. Sorry. I can't hide I'm fucking badly and respond to this too now. Yeah, this type of video backfired on me. Maybe I won't do this anymore. Kidding.
Nonsense. You know, stuff we've been hearing since, like, what, the Game Boy?
Cause who the fuck back in the Game Boy days were like, well, you know, this portable handheld device for I can play games on the go. That's just a good idea and all, but you know, it just don't have Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't know why I did that voice. But Harman, people called the Game Boy weak because the Game Boy was weak compared to other, you know, freaking handhelds that are out there. But it's like, apparently it's the ancient narrative. Back in the good old days, even now, back in the good old days, the trolls, the pretendos were sitting there saying, oh man, this Game Boy thing's never going to catch on.
The NES, maybe? Like, it is remarkable.
This motherfucker trying to pull ancient history on us. Okay, for the record, I just want to say this right now. You know that freaking meme everyone makes about from the Ancient Aliens show that was on History Channel? Doesn't Harman kind of look like the offspring of the meme guy? Just saying. Just saying. Give him a little bit of crazy hair. Might start looking like him a little.
How gamers, people who supposedly really care about games, who really are heavily invested in the format, they seem to really think that having higher horsepower, making more expensive pieces of technology, will actually make the console sell better.
But they do help the console sell better. You don't want to know why they help the console sell better? Hey, guys, do you want to play Hogwarts Legacy at 30 FPS? No, I don't like 30 FPS. Do you want to play a 60 FPS? Yes. Well, get the PS5 version or the Series version. Just saying, people buy the brand new consoles because they're more powerful than the older consoles. Revolutionary thought there. Next, you're gonna tell me water is wet and air is air.
Instead of having high quality, interesting games, which the Switch is still continuing to get to this day. Remember how a couple of months back, people
Only in really first party Nintendo games are meeting the demands. Yeah, every once in a while you get that occasional third party game that comes out, but like you look at the Switch's lineup of games and compare it to what's coming out on the newer consoles, the PS5 and the Series consoles, it's a 9-day difference. You can't tell me that a game like Octopath Traveler is on the same fucking scale. Octopath Traveler 2, sorry. It's on the same scale as something like Spider-Man or God of War Ragnarok or Starfield or Halo Infinite or freaking Cyberpunk. Oh god, can you imagine Cyberpunk running on the Switch? Your Switch might as well just catch on fire and be a fucking better waste of time.
like RGT85 and Review USA were trying to tell you that Tears of the Kingdom, The Legend of Zelda, The Tears of the Kingdom, would be the last game ever on Nintendo Switch, and the Switch 2 would come out in like...
I think they meant that mostly in the eyes that it'll be the last big AAA game. And, well, I kind of disagree with that because, Pikmin 4 is a thing. It's still like, yeah, I kind of agree with that too. Also, because really, after Zelda, what comes out? Pikmin, like I said, Pikmin 4, yeah, I guess you could call that a AAA game, but it's not as popular as Zelda. Like, let's be honest here, Zelda is kind of the end for the Switch. And I'm not saying, like, the actual end, but, like, where do you go after Zelda? More Mario sports games? So, series that no one really cares about? Like, where do you go? I know some people say, like, Metroid Prime 4. I'm fucking thinking Metroid Prime 4 was stealthily canceled at this point, because we've heard nothing about it. And honestly, I think if that game wasn't canceled, I want to say this right now for the record, I think Prime 4 should be a launch title for the next console for Nintendo. Because wouldn't that be a system seller? Wouldn't that be like, man, you want to play Metroid Prime 4 on the brand new, we're just going to call it a Switch 2, because hypothetical, it could be a Switch 2. And wouldn't that help sales? I mean, didn't Breath of the Wild help sales for the Switch 1? Just saying.
By November this year, yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Those guys ignored, games like Pikmin 4, games like Metroid Prime 4, all like the great third-party games.
Okay, they're ignoring those because they're not the big AAA games. They're not the reason why people keep playing on their Switch. And again, Prime 4, we have no idea when that's coming out. And not everyone is a fan of Pikmin. I'm going to be honest, I like Pikmin, but I ain't going to buy a Switch to play it.
Coming out in favor of pushing a narrative that not only doesn't have a basis in reality, it is something that's been directly contradicted by Nintendo themselves. Nintendo president Furukawa outright said this a couple of years ago, is that like, yeah, Switch is about halfway through its life cycle.
Yes, a couple years ago he says halfway through its life cycle. So that means, goddamn, that was a perfect fucking stop point right there. That means we're at least, 4-5 years at that point into the Switch. The normal video game console lifespans go from anywhere from, I think, 7 to 10 years. Yeah, if you're 5 years in, you are obviously more than halfway into the longest lifespan a console can reach. Unless they really keep the Switch going, which I doubt it. I mean, the fact that they basically have nothing after Pikmin 4 kind of tells you something's up. Like, maybe there's a new game either they're not telling us, or there's a new console on the horizon that they're saving the new games for.
Halfway through a couple of years ago. So, like, by that logic, we can expect, like, Switch to have, like, a Game Boy life cycle of about 10 years rather than the typical console lifestyle.
But why? Why would Switch have the same lifespan as, the Game Boy? It wouldn't. It's not the Game Boy. It's not... I don't know how to respond to that, really. Because, like, the Switch isn't the Game Boy. the Switch is starting to face some serious problems. And let's not even talk about the Pokemon Company and how they are. Sorry, Pokemon Company. I meant Game Freak. How they are hack developers that can't get a simple fucking game to work. And now, for all you Pokemon lovers out there, people are reporting they're losing their save files after getting an update. So what's there to keep people going to the Switch? Seriously. Breath of the Wild 2 and Pikmin 4. Because like I said, I doubt Prime 4 is either happening or it's going to be a Switch game. Sorry, I know I'm ranting and rambling here. Just, ugh. That's what Harman Smith does to me. This is what happens when I don't have to edit, for the record.
Life cycle of 6, right? We can expect the Switch to be around for considerably longer than other video game platforms. I don't understand what is so difficult for people like Arlo to understand about this. That the Switch is highly successful, highly popular, and will not be replaced anytime soon. We faced a similar situation with the 3DS, right? When the Switch came out in 2017, people thought the 3DS would be phased out immediately. But instead, what happened is that the 3DS continued getting releases up until like 2019. And I think even now you can still buy brand new ones, even though
Did they just shut down the 3DS item shop and the Wii U one? See, that's kind of the thing I've always hated about Nintendo. It's like they have these old machines that have these dedicated fan bases and digital only games, and they're just like, yeah, screw it. Yeah, we'll just put it up on the new game console store and sell it there if they feel fucking generous enough. Or you have to subscribe to a shitty online service just to play a bunch of games you probably already bought at some point. And you can't even buy those games separately. Unlike PlayStation Plus, where it's like, hey, you can either buy the game or you can get the PlayStation Plus Premium, and you get all the old games that you could have bought.
Stop being manufactured. Like the 3DS has had a very successful life cycle, right? Lasting about a decade. And nobody really wants to acknowledge or admit it. Nobody wants to admit that there are still kids playing N64s and Game Boys.
Who the fuck is playing an N64 and a Game Boy who's younger than 30? I don't know a single kid that'll look at a Nintendo Switch and a Game Boy and say, I want to go with the Game Boy. Hate to tell you, Harman, kids, they're not into the old stuff as you are. They're honestly, most of them are just into the newer stuff. Why do you think Fortnite's so successful? Because Fortnite keeps being fresh. It keeps kids coming in. Kids like the new stuff. That's why Roblox. That's why Call of Duty will always fucking be popular. Seems like the Eternal. There's three Eternals in this world. Death, taxes, and Call of Duty still being popular.
People who don't necessarily buy new pieces of hardware. Not everyone who plays video games plays on the most expensive, the newest piece of hardware. So as a result,
actually, it seems like most people who are, dedicated gamers or hardcore gamers, they do tend to lean on buying the newer stuff. There's also, your retro gamers out there. There's people like Harman where it's like they play the old stuff. But at the same time, there's a small minority compared to the vast majority, like someone like me or freaking Christ, my friend and my friend Daniel, who like literally knows everything about technology to the point it's almost an obsession. Shout out to him, by the way. You're probably going to be in the comments section and roasting me, saying, hey, why don't you play more WWE? Because I got fucking copyright blocked. That's why.
Result of that, why exactly would Nintendo be in a hurry to replace one of their most popular, successful consoles ever? Their soon to be most popular console ever, by the way, the most popular console of all time. The Switch is well on its way to being one of the most successful the most successful console ever made, and we
dude, you could tell right here, he's just trying to get to the end, like. This is the most popular console. It's gonna be the best Nintendo console. And just shut the fuck up about it. Just shut the fuck up. Nintendo's great. Nintendo's the best. Nintendo sends me a check every month. Oh wait, that's the government.
Still have people like Arlo, like Review Tech USA, like RGT85, still trying to convince you, the audience, that the Switch is about to be replaced. It simply is not going to happen anytime soon.
Anytime soon, but it will happen at some point. So, yeah, that's a good old Harman. What you guys think of this reaction layout? I think I'm going to start doing this more when I'm doing reactionary content. Because, yeah, again, I have no problem showing my face. I have no problem doing a little bit of shameless plugs for friends and all that stuff. So, what do you guys think? Personally, I think if I were to address, summarize this video, it's typical Harman Smith shit. He doesn't like people who have a different opinion than him. And honestly, it's just entertaining watching this fucking dipshit lose his mind over the simplest concept. Like, trying to grasp the concept that maybe, just maybe, the Nintendo Switch isn't perfect. Just maybe like how PlayStation isn't perfect. Like how Xbox isn't perfect. Or how PC isn't perfect. Every console's got its flaws. Just the truth. But Harman seems to be in the delusional state of Nintendo always good, everyone else bad. Also, all woke people are bad people, all left people are bad people, and Republican for life. Until next time, guys, this is That PlayStation Gamer. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube algorithm BS. I'm glad to be showing my face again. Until next time, peace out.